So during a barrel pick, if you have too many good barrels, sometimes things can get heated.
Are you crazy? You're fucking. You are fucking. You bloody bastard! You
everyone else feel that it's very close?
Fucking mother bloody fuck bitch!
Like,
Bloody fuck you!
yeah.
Fucking bloody bastard!
5 is great.
Thank you, bloody! You bloody!
The only thing
Bloody no! Bloody fucking accident! Then what you wanna do? Why you fuck me? I fuck you, bloody!
So yeah, we are in Cincinnati, just south of Cincinnati, over at New Riff with Tim and Alex from the Bourbon Chronicles and Charles from That Bourbon Dude. We of course had to warm up the old pallets, and what better to warm up a pallet for a Kentucky rye than a Tennessee bourbons, Coy Hill. So I had my camera on slow-mo, so I didn't get any voices on this stuff. I don't know, I fixed it later on, but here we are in the hotel room pre-gaming it up. Stay tuned to the later on to see the carnage, the fighting. So New Riff is in the parking lot of Party Sauce. So the guy that used to own Party Sauce, he started New Riff. Come to find out, he couldn't own a liquor store and a distillery, so he sold the liquor store to his employees. So yeah, cool story. And one really great liquor store too, so if you're in the area you can stop in both these places and check them both out. New Riff has a really awesome facility here. You come into here and here's the gift shop. Get some bottles. Some of their distillery only bottles are around here. They have all sorts of single barrels, of course, being New Riff. The Silver Grove 4-year rye and bourbon are fantastic, so if you're ever in here. And if you go up the stairs, they have an awesome bar up there and you can get all sorts of yummy snacks. Here's Charles talking about the latest bourbon conspiracy. Of course I had to mute him so we don't get taken out by the CIA, but watch his channel and you'll learn it all over there. So speaking of Secret Service type stuff, we get these little sweet headphone things here so we can hear what the tour guide is saying when he takes us through the distillery. I'll put that at the end of the video, but we're going to skip ahead over to the Rickhouse. We took a van over there and we'll run through the Rickhouse and the actual barrel picking procedure. So after we were shown around and through the Rickhouses, which smell absolutely amazing, there's something about New Riff Rickhouses, man. They're so sweet, and I think it's got to do with all the heirloom grains they use. But yeah, they smell fantastic. It was a cold day, so in the middle of summer, it would be even better. But this was a super nice little tasting room out in their barrel selection warehouse here. So that's where we sit down there and had a riot about what barrel to pick. And here's some of the stuff there. I noticed they had a red turkey wheat, which I'd heard a bit about recently, so that was interesting. They got some stuff on the wall there, and the lady was nice enough to sort of get us anything else that we wanted to try after we'd finished picking our barrel. But yeah, I just went over and said, hey, what about this? How about they give that to me? And she said no, but it is what it is. So here are our 5 barrel samples and some snacks, some little pens and paper and notes, and that little glass down the back with the glass topper, that is their standard 4-year rye, just to give you a bit of a baseline. So, you know, had some water on the table, really nice setup here, and this is where we go at it to try and pick our barrels.
Not in order. Number 1 isn't a Cooper Reserve, 1 location, whatever. All right? I'll let you know what they are when we're finished. Pretzels, you know, eat it in between, cleanse your palate. We have more water over there. Oh, there's a difference too, like it's when you put your glasses, the tasting way, we call it. So if you look to the far right, those are the classic New Riff rye tasting notes. Okay.
And here I am going to work. So the number of barrels you get on a barrel pick, they can range, you know, normally a minimum of 3, you know, up to, in some of the smaller craft ones, you know, as many as you can talk them into letting you have. So we had 5 here, and like I say, every one of these was great. Number 1 for me was really funky, had a really funky, you know, nose and palate. So that could be good for certain picks, and you know, if you're looking for funky, but for me it didn't really sit right. We basically ended up getting down to 3 barrels, 3, 4, and 5, where 3 was definitely more rye forward, and 4 and 5 were very similar. 4 had an amazing nose, and 5 had an incredible palate. So one of the things they say is good to do if you have a lot of barrels and there's no immediate consensus is knock out the one you dislike the most. So we ran through it trying to knock out 1, and we ended up knocking out 1 and 2. Well, 1 barrel, but we ended up knocking out barrel 1 and 2. They just didn't really sit right, and the other 3, so we got down to the 3 best, and then the fun and games started to try and work out which one of those 3 was going to be number 1.
Oh boy.
So it looks like we can knock
1 and 2.
Because
That's my next one.
yeah, my next one's
Yeah.
These
one's my next.
first one's gone, so that's perfect.
3, 4, 5.
So 3, 4, 5 is where we're at. So now we just need to figure out that. Just so we can see where everybody's standing. What's your first place? What's your first place?
I think I'm at this point on my 5.
You're at 5.
Which at 3.
3.
Fire. 5.
And wait for your 1?
Yes.
I am not. I don't even know what it is. It is
5.
Oh. Yeah, that's where I was with 5. Right now, that could change. It's not like definitive.
yeah. What
It's not.
I think it's a rookie.
4.
4. Man stands alone. I'm at 4. He's still sitting. Look at him. He's ready. Not ready.
Is this best?
This is just like preliminaries.
Man. 5 is besting 4 by just a hair.
It's pretty good.
So, what happened to us? When you like, where did we screw up? Math is not.
Well, people's favorite and least favorite wasn't the same.
Yeah. I think. Does everyone else feel that it's very, very close?
I think we need another 3, 4, 5. Tight for me.
Very tight, yeah. There's nothing like 5 is great, 4 is great, 3 is great. The only thing, even 2.
For instance, if I blinded these 3,
Yeah.
3 is so different from everything else that it's.
Hello, wrestle for it. This is deep. I don't know.
Deep analysis.
But she's totally changing my mind right now.
left or right?
I like right, but well, Charles gave me in isolation. Number 3 wasn't
In isolation 3, just knocks it out of the water. We're back to 3. I think if we had 3 and 4 together against each other,
I think 3 and 4 would be the better.
Look, there's only 2 3s here.
yeah.
3 was definitely more right.
Oh, I'm always.
You're always on the wrong side. We have.
I've always been on the left side.
That was deep and that was hard and it was like sending a man to jail for life, but we've come up with a solution and it's number 5. I wanted number 4, Charles wanted number 3, but we've got number 5. Fantastic. They 3, 4, and 5 were all great. 3 was a more rye, and 4 and 5 were basically the same stuff. So, fantastic. So I also purchased the empty barrel, and looking at this thing, I would like to do something cool like this. If only I knew an electrical engineer and somewhere I could get linear actuators. But yep, it was tight, and we were probably in here for a couple of hours, like that semi-drunky looking guy was talking about. It came down to 4 and 5, which we ended up picking 5. They're both just really delicious. They come off sweet like a bourbon, without a doubt, but I think that's sort of what I prefer. And the number 3 was a great rye, but hey, I think you're going to be happy with these bottles. These are great. And then she came back in with a 10-year-old New Riff, and I tell you what, once New Riff is able to get this higher age stuff out, going to be hard to beat, because this was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm looking forward to like the 6-year rye, the 8-year rye,
the 10-year rye, you know, when they all come out in a few years. So it's going to be good. So yeah, I secured a bottle for all my members, so we'll look out for that once I get it. And then yeah, looking forward to this. This was a great time, and we'll go back after this, and you can watch the tours of their Rickhouse and stuff like that. But we've still got to, we get to thieve our a little sample bottle of it and take away. So we do that here in a minute, and then bang the bung, and we'll carry on.
That's definitely
All right.
yeah. First 3 letters, 4 letters, right?
Here, we'll pass it all around.
Char?
No, she got that one for me.
Oh, char.
That's the char in the.
Oh,
Let's go char too.
yeah, because I took it straight out the barrel. It's a barrel that the distillers that have on the 3rd floor.
That doesn't bother me a bit.
Oh, look at
That's a good tasting.
Yeah. Well, it ages in the glass.
The wood's what they say, muddy sort of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was muddy. Well, one of the.
Oh,
Is everybody circled up?
okay.
Cheers, everybody. Thanks for coming out and helping with the barrel. Appreciate everybody showing up. Thanks, guys.
Right. Bourbon. I vote for this one.
It's like just yes, and then it like disappears like cotton candy, but it leaves such a nice finish. Isn't it great?
We'll take a whole barrel of this.
Yeah, I wish. Straight up and down. That one has a bend in it, so it doesn't pull the chart.
Having a bend in it's fine. It's normal.
I'm not saying shit. She tried to get me. I didn't catch myself. Yeah.
What an excitement.
So let me ask you this. We do a
Wait, you put this on there already? How did you break the seal? Don't get pulled over.
what?
Don't get pulled over. Or don't tell him it was me.
But we're walking.
So Viola, when we come here and do a 3rd one,
Yeah.
how is there a way we can make sure
Yeah, you got yours.
Yeah, I can take a photo for you.
it started? when we did our 52 the end of 2023,
Yeah.
the young girl,
She just had her first day.
yeah, it was she just started,
Oh,
and she was just in the gift shop.
She was in the gift shop
Yeah,
too?
today.
That might
Still
make-
going.
Perfect.
Yes, that is.
That is?
Yeah.
Yeah, so usually everyone comes here, they just want to shadow us. And that's when they come over for tours. Yeah. But no, she's with the hospital, the gift shop. Yeah. But here it's just crazy. We just hired. Well, he's in the gift shop today. Michael.
Okay.
He's there.
About 3 a day.
Yeah. Yeah, 3 a day.
See if I can get that
20
finger
of
to
his
work.
house, courthouse, yeah, so.
Like fun job.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We have probably the biggest result. Lakers came over here.
For that, I did it better than everybody else.
Wow, you did a great job.
I did it better than anybody. One shot, yeah.
You can tell you
Call me
were.
One Shot Castle.
I believe you said
On
that's
the
number
4th
2.
floor.
Yeah.
And see, number 3 was on the 5th floor, which probably would have had a higher price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Our table.
What you smelling? Here, grab that marker, and then sign. We're gonna sign the barrel.
Right here?
Yeah. Mhm.
So what they think though is they're not following the gift shop still open.
Yeah, they'll be open till 8. Yeah, typically, you guys.
Come on. Maybe. I came with. Will you grab? Oh, I'll just fucking get down here and fucking.
It's full lane. Yeah, it took so long for the 4 versus 5.
He really wants it.
I mean, we're all.
It's gonna be like 3 crackers and a bullet.
Yours? All right, everyone runs everything.
name ever to write on a
Yeah.
right?
Just abbreviated.
TBD.
That BBD.
With the size, we'll have you in like, there's a room. It's next to the bar, so you guys can see.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Usually you're out.
TBD.
You won't need it.
So we sign it, we bang the bung in, and the barrel is ours. So now we're going to go back and I'll show you the tour through the Rickhouses and then the distillery. So pretty interesting stuff. Stay around.
So these are the barrels that belong to our single barrel department. Until recently, our distillers used to taste every barrel when it became 4 years old. And they were going to see if it would go into our bottled and bond products or come to the single barrels. That's the S. We actually branded that S too. The barrel guys put it on, so we just took it. Now it's a symbol for all of our single barrel stuff. Your barrel is out here in the rye section. We'll find it once we've selected and take pictures and have all that fun. All right. We have 2 cooperages that we've been using since we started. One is a small family-owned cooperage, Kelvin. You've probably heard of them down in Louisville, Kentucky. And when we started, this is one of the first barrels that we ever filled in 2014, June 27th. But we had distillation, we didn't have any barrels. So Kelvin sold us our first like 200 or 300 to get started. And we'll still do 25-30% of our aging in Kelvin barrels. And then the remainder go into ISC or independent state. Regardless of the two, we'll have a heavy toast put on them with a level 4 is our standard char. You'll see some level 1 chars, but mostly 4s. What else about, oh, that's the 10,000th one that we filled after 4 years. So you can kind of see where we were going. And then since you, I think, yeah, probably since you've been here last year, we have gotten.
I'm just getting
And that's the rise of here, 6-year rise. I'm telling you, I haven't tasted a bad one yet.
Yeah.
Typically when you'll sit down with the bourbons, there'll be like 1 or 2 of them. Everybody's like, nah, that's not the one. But with these, it's a hard choice. So you guys take plenty of time to go through those and
How many barrels will we be picking from?
5.
5.
Yeah.
What's the proof ranges?
You know what? They were higher, but the guys came in today and theirs was 111, which surprised me. But they've been up to about, I would say 114 and 119. One guy, his just got bottled yesterday, 121. So.
Was that?
I think I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's silly.
So they're ranging. I was really surprised at that 111.
And then you have your people come out here, they taste the barrels and pick the 5 that they're going to...
No, actually the distilling team, we have a sensory panel and they're the ones who are tasting it. Corey and I we create the menus based on, we want to change the dates. We don't want them all from 1 month. We don't want them all Kelvins. So it's a variety of barrels.
Cool.
Yeah, but not tasting. We got away with that.
And with 6 year, that's pretty new, I guess.
Yeah, we just started January.
All right.
Yep.
Awesome.
January on these releases. And the 4-year were fantastic.
Yeah,
Are you guys doing away with a 4-year single barrel?
Yeah.
Oh, really? So it's going to be 6
Of
years
the
now?
rye. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There's no more 6-year rise. Everything's, no more 4-year rise. Everything's
Can you do that to
26.
the bourbon too, right?
I can't say. But anyway, yours is out here. We'll find it.
It's that one.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm joking.
I'll answer which
No, I'm just saying it's that one. I can.
Oh, is it talking to you?
Yeah, it's talking to me.
My dad used to say, like, is that cookie winking at you? Like, give it to me, yeah. Okay, we'll head out the back. At 126, they clocked it this past summer. One of the distillers like, I'm not going up there again. I was like, I bet. So you have that, Kentucky weather just moving through. We don't rotate. Some people wondered, are we moving them after a few years? Once they're in, that's where they're going to stay. We did move some of those from out of here into here once we finished that, but I'll show you some others inside. But there's a 10-foot trench that they dug around for containment and then raised the concrete. It's fabricated, and then they sealed it and then built the ricks freestanding. So this is a freestanding Rickhouse. Most of the time it's attached to wood or metal or whatever's holding it up. All right?
Like, let's say it's cool, like, constantly work, like, well, they're not good, you know what I mean? They have one, like, done ready.
Oh, smells nice.
I know, right? I never get enough of that stuff.
Yeah. That is fantastic.
We'll be walking down for everybody to get room. So you can tell it's a lot more traditional on the inside. On those 5 stories, we have 3 rows, and then they roll the barrels in 25 barrels deep, or clock them. Make sure the bung's at 12 o'clock. They know exactly where to start. So when it rolls, the bung's up. This building holds our oldest barrels, so we do have some 10-year going on 11. Our special releases, a lot of them are in here. We've held close to 30% of everything that we've made. We've held back for aging. So I'm waiting for those wonderful things like that we've had. I want to age it.
Does that older stuff stay down low?
No, it's all over.
It's everywhere?
Yeah, it's everywhere. Because this was the only brick house we had, we didn't have specific places for stuff. Now they're filling up Silver Grove, which is the 3rd warehouse, which is palletized. That one can hold 41,000 barrels. But yeah, this one is where the oldest stuff is. We're not going to take it out and move it over there. You're going to see some empty spaces. Okay, so have you guys tasted the 8-year bourbon and rye?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you'll see empty spaces because of that 8-year. And they're starting to fill it back up. You guys must have tasted everything. What haven't you tasted? I'm trying to click in. These barrels, you'll see the Casmolia. We have some PX, Olorosa. This is a big sherry butt. And y'all, SMP 3, SMP 10, this is a SMP 5 single malt project. So we've released 2 offerings of our single malt, which I think is fabulous. If anyone likes old world whiskey, it's not bourbon, all barley. It's just really a complex distillation. They actually went to Scotland to learn some blending techniques in order to do that release. So now that one, if anyone wants to taste it, I'm happy to pour it because I think it's great. I'm gonna sit you right in the front. You'll be right near me. Let's keep moving. I'm gonna show you the X bay. And you know, as you walk along, you'll see the ricks are bolted directly to the floor, and there's a separation from the wall, from the concrete, like I mentioned. You know what? We don't have near as many spider webs as we used to. I just noticed that. We used to have so many spider webs. Now, this is the reinforced X bay, and it is a feature that's a little bit different than what Busick traditionally does, specifically for balance. The guys were in here working earlier today. You could hear them moving barrels, and you got to make sure this thing stays balanced. It's estimated to be at about, I think, 13.5 million pounds when it's full, all the wood. The Licking River is right behind us, so we have to make sure we don't do anything that could jeopardize the city, the river, or anything like that with a collapse. If anyone wants a good shot, you can step in here. You can see all the way up to the top. I love this. And so there's some empty barrels space you can see here, but then they filled them up here since I've been gone. And that's cool. It's like, these are the new ones.
Is there a plumb bob?
Yeah, if you look down all the way to the
there
back.
it is. Yeah, there it is.
Yep. And they watched that thing. It only moved once, and Jake was like, we were hustling. I was like, but only a tiny, tiny bit. But yeah. Now, like I mentioned, you're going to find Kelvins, ISCs, rye, bourbon, everything's mixed in here together. We don't separate. And the cool thing, you know that's an old barrel. It's been sitting there for a while.
I'll try that one.
Yeah, let's pop it. That's the one we want.
I know, if I had a drill. I think I need a drill. It was.
Yeah? What we got going on in here? You can
So we are not only bottled and bond, but also non-chill filtered. Really, we consider those 2 of the highest quality standards in the industry. So everything gets dumped here, right? Your single barrel will get hoisted up. They'll drill the bung out and just tip it over, right? Same equipment that's in the Rickhouse is how they get the barrels up and down. They'll put these fine mesh screens, and you can see through them, right? And they will catch all of the bottom of the barrel, right? All the char, gone. This is like tons of stuff that's just coming out of the barrel. It'll catch that, and then it goes through a secondary filter right here, which is pressurized. Oh, it looks like a vacuum. And it catches the finer pieces so that none of that gets into your bottles, right? So they drop that in there, and it'll catch the fine pieces. And from there, it goes directly into a metal drum. That's it. And it connects to the bottom line. So whatever you guys taste today is exactly what's going into the box. We don't add water, we don't proof it. It's barrel strength, barrel proof. Someone said to me today, it tastes different than when we were here, when I opened up the bottle. I'm like, dude, you've been drinking for 2 hours. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a little bit of difference.
yeah.
But it is exactly what's coming out of the barrel, which is what we pull out the barrel. Okay? You have a question?
I was going to say, in other places,
Each bottle, there's 6 at a time, so they do a case at a time. We still have a lot of hand touch on this line. They have your custom etching on the back. They pre-etch them and then run those through. People on the end put the tax strip and the proof. We are going to proof it today to get an estimate. You can't hold me to it. But we'll proof it today to get an idea of what it is. It'll make its way around. If you purchase the barrel, they'll wrap them in plastic with the cases. One thing that's a funny story to me, when we started, it was only half the line, but it wouldn't even work, right? And so we all filled our first releases by hand over at the distillery. And where you went in the bottom where they filled them all, imagine that place was covered with cardboard boxes. And so when we got back, this has a laser that would read across the top for the fill line, but it can't read through the neck because it's black. So they always have someone with a sample of what they're filling here, and they top them off by hand. So it'll go through and they'll do this to see if it's where it is, and if not, they'll top them off. So we're not going to change the bottle. It's a nice one.
So that was an awesome tour of the bottling line and Rickhouses. So now we're back at the distillery. What's really unique is what we just walked past there was a special heirloom Dunkel wheat. You know, that's the thing that New Riff does. They have all sorts of really crazy mash bills, and man, some of it's fantastic. So here are their tanks and stuff that they do their fermenting in. Go down quite far, but this is all very noisy. So there's that stuff again. It must have been what they were doing. This little brew up, but yeah, super noisy here. This is a thing that mashes everything up, and a very good tour guide here showing us through all the fermenting tanks and beer stills and all the other good stuff. So yeah, like if you're ever around New Riff, totally recommend taking a tour, going to their bar, or just going to their gift shop and seeing what they got. You can see the little levers behind them that let in the corn and the malt and the rye and the barley and all that other good stuff. So yeah, pretty cool place. So this is a freshly dumped tank of all the goodness. You see the old yeasties haven't really started to work there. Pretty soon we'll go over to a tank that's been brewing away for a couple of days. And here's a tank with all the yeasties going to work, doing the yeasty things. Go you good yeast.
Oh, it's pretty good yeast. This is the best.
Yeah. All right. So this is where we're taking that distiller's beer, we're turning it into remake whiskey. Up until that point, what we did is made that distiller's beer. This is our 60-foot continuously running still town. So this is where we pump in that distiller.
What percent?
This is going to be roughly 120 to 125. And you can get a reading on the top of the cylinder there. If you look at the cylinder, and you see the number that's at the top of it?
Yeah.
120. 120?
Yeah.
And we got a lot of us. And You don't have to sit this. You can if you like. That's up to you 100%. If you want to do the smell or put a little on your hands, whatever you want to do with it. I'll pass this around. But this is new make rye whiskey. So you guys are picking single barrel rye. They got rye coming off the still as well. So this is basically what you're going to be sipping. Just fast forward about 6 years. You guys pick this 65. I have a lot more color.
Can I have that little cup?
Yeah.
Can I have a little cup? Can I have that little cup? I just want to pour out this kind of it.
I'm doing this one again.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. For the next one.
Glass, huh?
So, again, if you don't want to sip it,
Corny. Very corny.
again, 120.
I would have thought of it like higher proof.
So what we, this is after another distance.
You have to set the max barrel whiskey.
Yeah.
So the first distillation comes off the column, right? Where does the second distillation come off of?
Right here. Very corny.
In the dough, you put them up.
Pure distillate. 140. Wow.
It's kind of constantly going.
And so all your products are double distilled, only twice.
Around, it's then going to be sent to one of these 4 tanks back behind me. These tanks are actually where we are going to proof down that whiskey to 110 before we fill these barrels up. So entry proof for our bourbon and our rye whiskey and pretty much every other spirit that we do is going to be 110. So these are all brand new American white oak charred barrels. We roll them up right here. This is our one and only filling station, or 2.
Yeah, so that is it. That is the barrel picking process at New Riff, and we picked this particularly good barrel. Can't wait for everybody to try it that is able to get a bottle. Like I say, I've got a few, so get them out to my members. And yeah, New Riff, man, they're making some great stuff. And thanks to Tim and Charles, Tim from the Bourbon Chronicles and Charles from That Bourbon Dude, and everyone else that came out to help us on this pick. So yeah, stay tuned, and we'll see what we get up to next. And here's the tater sticker that I've got going for this bad boy.